I am Bumpa James Ebert, and this is my wife,
Connie. And Natasha is our great niece.
And we've been married 56 years.
Oh, wow.
So we're sort of ancient.
You know what I remember about you? Is that every time I would see you with my pigtails, you would have some kind of squeaker in your hand.
Oh.
But until I was around 10 years old, I had no idea there was a squeaker in your hand.
Oh, you're probably right on that. Yeah, I like to tease. That's true.
Yeah, you would come up to my pigtails and squeak.
Oh.
Oh, you also had that Donald Duck voice.
Yeah.
Still has that.
I got Donald Duck.
Do you want to do a quick?
What?
Do you want to say something with your Donald Duck? All right. So, what are some tips to keep a marriage? Because you guys have been together for a long time.
58 years.
Yeah.
And
My age double.
I think the key, first of all, every night, don't go to bed mad, whatever, end it. Regardless who wins, just end it. And you have to have humor. You have to laugh at yourself, laugh at the other one, and that's the only way you're going to make it, I think.
And I've learned over the years, I always have the last words, which makes it perfect because the last words are, yes, dear.
He's been very good to me, really, and knows what I like and how I like to do things, and he tries to please me as much as he can. And so, there's been adjustments from both of us.
Oh, yeah.
And we've gone through multiple problems in our lives, and but everything's turned out all right.
So, tell me a story of how you met.
Ooh. I met her.
And some of your first dates.
Well, I met her. She's from another town. I was from a town in Norwalk, Ohio. She was a little town of Willard outside of Norwalk a little bit. And she had a girlfriend that I used to date in Norwalk. And she was a pool instructor, safety, and so was the girl that I used to date. So she came over to the Norwalk pool to hang out with her girlfriend from Norwalk. And I just happened to wander down that way one day. And I saw her sitting at the pool with Martha. And so I said, oh, and what did I call you then? Oh, said something smart.
I don't know.
But anyway, that was the first time I met her. And then about a year went by. And then for some reason, I don't know if we got together again or something, but she kept going to the beach at Lake Erie where we all hang out, every weekend. Probably a couple hundred kids from all over. And she was there with her sister on a blanket, and I was dating another girl down on another blanket. And then a couple of weeks went by, and she was there again with her sister, and I kept going by, and pretty soon I ended on that blanket, and that girl got together with my best friend. He married that girl, and I married this girl.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So what was it like on your side of it?
Well, as he came down, he yelled, "Hey, nurse!" and then came over and talked. And so I went home that night, and I called my friend, and I said, "Hey, we're going to go to Huron tomorrow to the beach." I said, "I want to see this Jim Ebert again." That's how it started. And then we dated.
Not too long, 2 years.
No, a couple weeks from then, we had a date, and we double dated with my friend and another girl from Norwalk and two guys that they knew because they were both engaged to other people. And we went out dancing in Willard, and we came back, and we always stopped at the Peru Fountain, which is a free-flowing fountain, spring water, and we had a water fight. And that was our big first date.
Yeah, and then
Then he took me to church the next morning.
But then, a year and a half later, when I proposed to her, I took her to the same fountain and had the engagement ring in a pair of baby booties. And
Ohio State baby
Ohio
booties.
State baby booties. She opened it up and said, "What's this?" And I said, "Well, this." And she said, "What's in there?" And the engagement ring was in there. And I says, we got to get engaged first, and then the babies come later.
That's so sweet.
So that was the start of this great odyssey that we have.
Did you ever use the baby booties?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she still got them.
I think I do in the cedar
Yeah, they're
chest.
in that
Yeah.
cedar chest.
Yeah.
Tell me stories of your youth.
My youth, I was from a divorced family. My mother, I had twin sisters. My mother raised the three of us. My father was not there, and nor did he contribute very much. She had a hard time. She took in laundries, and then finally, when we were older, she could go out and work. But we always had babysitters if she were working during the day. But her life was completely us. Whatever we needed, she was there for us. How she did it, I don't know. I know my uncles helped, and she paid them back. They always said she always paid us back, but she was quite a woman. And grew up in a little town of 5,000. I worked from the time I was 12, was a lifeguard for quite a few years, was a nurse's aide, cleaned a dental shop, or dental office, and what else did I? Oh, I was a waitress, and anything there was, I would try it. And every check went to her. And then when I went to college, I got a full scholarship to nursing, and I had to maintain a B average, and I had to buy my books. And then she gave me $5 a week for my spending money. So that was for my cigarettes and my bun bars.
Back there, everybody smoked.
Yep. So anyway, that was pretty much the way I grew up. But I had a wonderful life. I had her family. All my aunts and uncles were great and treated us just like their own. And they were always there for us. And it was good. She was a wonderful person.
What'd you do for fun?
For fun? Mm-hmm. Well, we were outside all the time.
Right,
We roller skated all through the town, big long lines of us. We swam in the summer. We were there from 1 o'clock till 8 o'clock at night. Rode our bikes out, rode our bikes home. We played kick the can. We played
Capture the flag.
yeah, capture the flag. All kinds of outside games. And you had a ball. You had a ball.
TV.
We climbed trees.
TV back then.
Yeah, we had nothing. I used to lay on the floor and listen to the radio.
Right.
You know, Baby Snooks, Fibber McGee, all those shows.
Yeah. TV came in when we were probably maybe 10 or 11 years old. You know, and it was only on for 3 hours a night, from 6 to 9 or something like that. And all the rest of the time was just nothing on it, just blank. So, you know, it's way back then. We're old.
It was a good life, though.
Yeah, it sounds a lot more fun.
Yeah.
What?
I wish you kids would know about it because you missed a lot.
Yep.
Of course, we're not knowledgeable in computers and all that, so, you know, I don't know. Both sides look good.
I had mom and dad, 4 boys and the girl, sister, and the boys were all close, within a matter of a couple of years apart. So we all hung together, you know, had a lot of fun because we had maybe 15 or 20 kids in our backyard every day, just playing ball or doing something because we had so many, you know, a lot of people there. So it was just fun growing up, and of course getting in fights with each other, and you know, driving mom, especially mom, nuts with 4 boys running around. And my sister didn't come. I'm 9 years older than she is, and that's that little thing crawling around back there. So yeah, it was a good time, good family time.
So what'd you guys do for fun?
Well, we played about every sport you can think of.
Terrorized the neighborhood.
We did mostly of that. Played kick, you know, we did all the fun games, and of course we enjoyed sports. And in the summer we were golfers or baseball players or whatever. So we were really just an active bunch of kids.
Wait, what's kick the can?
What's the game?
Yeah.
Well, you have a home plate, and the can's on there.
Right.
Somebody on one team kicks the can. It flies all over because it's empty.
No,
From that team, the other team, they have to find the can, bring it back to the home, put their foot on it, and count so much, and then they go out and try to find everybody on the other team.
No, that's not right.
Okay, you tell.
right.
That was my kick the can.
That, our can in Norwalk was the cans there, and that was your boundary line. And you stayed there, but you had to go look for them. And you had to, if you saw them, you had to run back, and if you could say so-and-so's name before he could kick the can, then he got stuck holding the can, watching the can. So they're all hiding around in the bushes or around the corner. You had to keep going out. You just couldn't sit there all night, or you're going to be stuck with the can. So you want to get away from the can. So you go out and try to find somebody, especially somebody slower than you were, and find that one and say, so you could beat them back there every time. So once you got back there, then they were stuck and you go hide.
That's what I said.
No, you kicked the can.
Yeah.
No.
When they came up, they kicked the can.
Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah. They're not, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Now, we're here almost 45 minutes, so you got all these people out here to go ahead.
No, I know. I'm almost done.
Yeah.
So do you have any stories about your parents, Neil and Marion?
You want to go with, you've already talked about yours, Edna May.
No, Neil and Marion were wonderful.
Oh, yeah, great couple.
Especially Marion. She was a saint.
Marion was a saint. My dad.
What does she look like?
Beautiful.
Beautiful lady.
Uncle Mike a lot. Her hair was like his.
Right.
And always had a little natural curl.
She came from Milwaukee.
Always looked wonderful, dressed to the nines.
Right.
And she just was a wonderful woman, very saintly.
Right.
I never heard her say a bad word
Nope, not a
or
couple.
talk about anybody. I mean, she was just a wonderful woman.
Milwaukee, I think she was a debutante. She came from a very, very influential family. In fact, we even named a street after her dad, Corcoran Street. And then she went to St. Mary of the Woods in Indiana, an all-girls school way back then. College. Nobody went to college back in the 30s, probably. You went to 8th grade, you're lucky. And then my dad went to Notre Dame, which was right down 15 miles away from St. Mary's of the Woods. So that's how the boys used to go down there for dates and stuff, because all male and all female. So gave them a little someplace to go and visit. And that's how they got together. So, and my dad was going to be a doctor, but then the Depression hit, so he came back home and started working at the car salesman and never left. And I think he hated that, so he became an alcoholic because he, just was very sad as far as what he did. He loved us to death, but Mom was the main person to keep things in order. But he became he became none.
Well, he hated his job.
Right, hated the job because he wanted to be a doctor. So anyway, he finally came around, and the last 10 or 15 years he was fine. So yeah, we had a great time. He taught us the boys a lot. He loved the sports, and he took us and taught us how to fish and how to hunt and all that. So it was great. That was great. We had a good relationship.
Do you have any like weird, funny stories with your dad or your mom?
Ooh. Well, Mom was so easy. I mean, she's so naive. We just could tease her to death, and she was just fun to be around because you want to leave some frustrations. You just could, just get her every time. So that's a story about her. My dad, he was
a tough one.
Yeah, he's a tough one.
He didn't laugh very much.
How was it when you came home to meet them?
When I came to meet them, it was on Sunday dinner, and Jim invited me. We had been to the Melon Festival in Milan, and we came back there to eat, and we were going to have duck. Well, I don't care for duck. And I said, I can't eat that.
Yeah.
He said, don't worry. He said, they're going to fix some chicken for you. So I went in, and they had chicken for me and duck for everybody else. And we had a great dinner, and
I don't remember that.
On Sundays after that, we were a lot of times there for dinner. And Ruth and Dan would be there, and Pat, and Mike, Mary, and Dad and I. And
Nene.
Oh yeah, Nene was always at the other end of the
Grandmother.
table. And
Dad's mom.
How was she?
how was she?
Yeah.
She was spoiled rotten.
All right. She died at 97.
And she would come in for dinner
All right.
on Sunday, and he'd sit down, Neil would, and she said, Neil, I'm ready to go home now.
Well, she had to sit at the end of the table, too.
Yeah, and
Mom couldn't sit there. She sat there.
She had already eaten, and she wanted to go home. He hadn't even eaten.
No.
So he had to get up and take her home
Ready to
and then
go,
come
Dad.
back and eat his dinner. And it was that way
For
every,
years.
every night.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she came over every night for supper.
And like Jim's mother said, do you think maybe she's home all day, she could make a dessert? She never did. She sat there and smoked her cigarettes.
When they retired to Florida, she was with them.
Yep.
She had her own room. I mean, she had it made.
I mean, Neil, she loved him to the sun and back.
Oh, for sure.
And
Still here. Meow, meow.
but she was something else as far as giving them time. She never did.
We knew what she was going from.
And they did too, so they let her go pretty much. But
What was she going through?
Huh?
What was she going through?
well, she was in her 90s, and
She lost her husband pretty early.
yeah,
Gus
in his
probably
60s, I think.
60s, early 70s, and he was 97, so she was alone for 30, 40 years. So, so she had to grab hold of her.
So, and they had her at the end where they couldn't travel, they couldn't do anything because they had to take care of her. We wish you the very best, and our grandchildren,
Aye.
all of you young people,
Aye.
and hope you find a mate as lucky as we were to find a
Yeah,
mate.
we sort of squeezed.
Yeah,
it in, didn't
we did it right, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think down the road you're going to say,
Boy, I'm glad I did that.
yeah. And I hope we helped you. I mean, I hope you enjoyed what we had to say.
Oh, of course.
Okay.